Corey with LaPlante Management, talking Zendesk. In this video, we're going to take a look at Zendesk Automations. This is actually the second in the three-part series. We've already talked about triggers. If you have not seen that video, let me just move myself to the side. And it should have appeared. That'd be pretty cool. You can click it and watch that one if you want to. If you don't want to and you just want to talk about automations, we can do that too. So what we're going to talk about is what automations are and how they work. We'll walk through an example. So automations function similar to triggers, which is why I would like you to watch that video. In that they function when something happens, but unlike triggers, where that is a ticket getting submitted, in this case, it is based on time. So given some amount of time, then the automation will run. And automations run once an hour in Zendesk, so you can't make them run on a minutes schedule. There are some third-party apps or guys like me who can help with that. But out of the box, Zendesk runs automations once an hour on the hour, or pretty close to on the hour. So let's take a look at an example. I mentioned in the Zendesk triggers video that there was the possibility to set up a delayed response. You guys have probably seen this in email functionality. This is the same kind of thing. It does not exist out of the box in Zendesk, but I will give you this secret here. So what that looks like is you would, in your ticket field, just create a custom field, call it something like delay response, and then choose the number of hours you want to delay. And for every option you choose, you just need to build an automation. In this case, we're looking at a 4-hour delayed response. You would want that if you are working early in the morning or late at night and you don't want your client or customer to know that you're working crazy hours, or if you want it to appear as though you are working crazy hours. You could go either way. But this will delay by 4 hours from when you submit the ticket to when it actually gets delivered. And I'll show an example here later on. So let's walk through kind of the different components of an automation. Similar to triggers, there are all conditions and there are any conditions. So in this case, we don't have any conditions, but I put some of those in the triggers video if you're curious. In this case, they are all conditions. So the first one there, ticket tags, contains at least one of the following. So we have a tag called delay 4 that when you choose that custom field in the ticket, it will apply this tag when you submit the ticket. And so then the automation finds that tag and says, yes, let's delay this by 4 hours, because the next step says ticket hours since assignee update is greater than 4. So it means that really a 4-hour delay is somewhere between a 4-hour and 1 minute delay and a 4-hour and 59-minute delay or so. It'll depend on when you submit and when the automation runs, but it's going to be within an hour of that time. So then following down there, ticket status less than closed. Tickets generally don't close for 4 days unless you have changed the default automation that Zendesk built in that does that 96-hour close. It moves from solved to closed, and that changes some things about the ticket. In this case, it's not going to be closed because I didn't build anything that's greater than 96 hours. So the ticket is either open, pending, or solved. In any of those cases, I guess, or on hold. In any of those cases, it still is going to send the email after 4 hours. And in this case, I also have a tag that needs to not be present for text out, because I don't want to delay my texts by 4 hours. I only want to delay my emails by 4 hours. Like I said, there are no any conditions. And then here's what's going to happen. I want to remove that tag, delay 4, because I don't want to continue sending emails after 4 hours. So just a one-time shot, and then remove that tag. And then we're going to actually send an email. And you can see that notification, email user, requester, and CC. So this will send it to anybody who is CC'd as well as the original requester. Email subject is still ticket title. This placeholder could be something else, but I don't know why I would want it to be. And then the email body is going to look awfully familiar to anybody who watched my Zendesk trigger video, because it is the same body. It's important that you put all of the exact same functionality in to that. Otherwise, you won't get any of this stuff on the delayed send. So anytime you update that trigger, you also want to come in and make sure that you update any of these automations. I have forgotten to do that in the past and regretted it. So let's take a look at an actual ticket and we can see what that looks like. So here's our test delayed ticket. You can see that I just created it a few minutes ago. In a minute, we're going to go into the future. I will take you time traveling 4 hours ahead, maybe even more. And so we can see what the result of this is. So you can see here, I've got my ticket field delay response with all of my different options. That 4 hours was chosen. And I sent this message to me to test me saying, hey, how about future you gets this email in response to it? And future me is going to do that, but he hasn't gotten the email yet. So he can't do that for another 3 hours and 51 minutes or so. Once he responds, we'll come back. I won't make you sit here for 4 hours because I'll lose a lot of viewers that way. And show you kind of what the end result is and show you something right here in this drop down that you may not be aware of that is helpful in a lot of different scenarios. Welcome to the future, everyone. Just like that, almost an entire day has passed. I went further than I thought I would into the future. I got to try to work on my time machine. I want to show you guys a handful of things here. The first thing you'll notice is that my response from future me did come through, and the timing of that was about an hour after I actually received the message. You can also see the ticket has been updated with changes, so I've got a note there. I no longer have the tag for delay response because it got removed by the automation. And what I want to show you guys here is if you click this drop down, you can take a look at the events on any given ticket. And so you can see when I first sent this, it did all these things based on some triggers and just some of the basic setup in Zendesk. And then there's my response from future me. And then you can see, or sorry, this is the response to future me. And then you can see at 7:05, so 4 hours later, and then at the top of the hour. So 6:30 would have been 4 hours, and then it waits till the top of the hour, and then it actually sends the email. So it waited to send it till then it got rid of the tag. And then you can see I responded here, and that triggered an SLA policy for next reply time, which is still running right now. You can see I've got 4 hours to respond before I'm out of time on that one. So that is what it looks like to delay a ticket, to then get that response, and you can follow along with what has happened with this ticket and the automations that are affecting it by clicking here and changing from conversations to events. So that's Zendesk Automations and time travel. I hope that's helpful. It gives you some ideas about how to build your own automations. If you ever have questions or would like to build something more complex than you feel comfortable with, just click the contact form on any page on our site. And as always, I put that down in the notes and description on YouTube. And you can reach out to us, and we are happy to help. This is Corey with LaPlante Management. Thanks for watching.